Hello and welcome back to Visiting Dugout. I'm Crystal O'Keefe. I have my friend, my Soxy Chicks co-host, my everything Bayleigh on to
Hi.
chat about the Red Sox.
Yes.
Hello and welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited to be back.
I know we just finished recording Soxy Chicks, so do not be alarmed. I took my hair out of my ponytail, but everything else stayed the same.
Yes, she looks slightly different. I said, nah, I'm not going to do anything.
I have altered myself only so slightly to note that time has passed, to quote
We
John
love it.
Mulaney. Okay, so we don't really need to introduce you. Everybody knows you. So, what's new with the Red Sox?
So, new with the Red Sox, we talked a little bit on Soxy Chicks, is we've got two guys locked up. We got Christian Campbell locked up here for decade, potentially, 10, 100 is the potential for it. We've also got Garrett Crochet locked up, 170 million. Like, there's an opt out there. So, there's potential that like in his early 30s he can opt out, but again, I always say, you can keep negotiating. These things can keep changing. Like, it's like, this isn't same with Christian Campbell. I don't necessarily think the 10-100 is going to be what it's going to end up with. It's like you can just keep renegotiating with somebody and give them more and more money. So I'm excited for that in Red Sox land. I know the score right now is tied 1-1 against the Cardinals, but the Red Sox left the bases loaded with nobody out because they just can't hit with runners in scoring position. And that's been probably the most frustrating thing. It's been the offense has been really good, but also really cold at certain moments. But I'm excited for it. I mean, we've got Bayo and Giolito coming back hopefully very soon, and then Sean Newcomb can get sent to the sun. Sorry, Sean. I know it's like, I know he is. I know he's only given up a run today, but I mean, it's just like, it's great that you have the depth that you can just throw Sean Newcomb out there for a little bit, knowing that like Bayo and Giolito are going to come back. You've got Quinn Priester in the minors. Dick Fitz has looked great so far. So the depth has been what the Red Sox have lacked over the last 5 years. To finally have pitching depth is like so incredible. So I'm very excited, for this season to see really like how good they can be.
Man, what is that like to have pitching depth
I
and
tell
not
you, it's new. It's new to me. It's very new to me.
as someone who is to this day crying about 6 pitchers going down for Tommy John since the start of spring training? It's I wish I knew what pitching depth looked like.
It's just so frustrating for the White Sox to know that there was a time where you had Dylan Cease. There was a time when you had Garrett Crochet. You had Lance Lynn. Like, you had guys that were really good for you, and then just the last 3 to 5 years have just been feel like it's got to feel like a weird fever dream, honestly, that like you're just stuck in.
It's wild to know that just a few seasons ago they were like running into the postseason.
Yeah.
Whereas last season, they broke a record for so many losses. It's definitely the weirdest turn of events that I, have seen in my baseball watching career of 37 years.
Yeah, it's just so unfortunate because it's like you think that, okay, we were good, like we're the best in the Central, everybody's talking about how good we are, to then just have a fall off like that. And I know a big thing is, I know money's not everything, but like a big thing is the fact that Andrew Benintendi is the largest contract that has ever been handed out by the
Yeah.
Chicago White Sox. It's crazy to me. It's like, maybe if you actually invested a little better in that team, after like 2022, when they're like really good, that you could keep your younger guys, you could invest, you could, maybe keep Garrett Crochet, keep Dylan Cease, and then you have a hell of a 1-2 punch,
Yeah.
that hopefully the Boston Red Sox might have next year. Give me
Yeah.
Dylan Cease.
Well, and so I take every single thing Bob Nightingale says with a grain of salt.
Oh,
But
Bob.
he did just say earlier today that Jerry's not selling the team.
What is
Um,
what is his goal? Like, my outside of like, these are still profitable. Like, even if your team is dog poop, like you still have a potential. It's $1 billion owner. Like, every team is valued at like 900 million plus.
yeah,
So like you have $1 billion piece there. So is that like the only thing that Jerry's holding on to? Is the money?
it's got to be, and you can't take the money to the grave, buddy.
No, you're
You
sold.
you were edging very close to 90 at this
Yeah.
point. And his kids are no better because his kids are running the Bulls into the ground.
Yeah. So it's like just the family as a whole. So it's like that whole thing is just like all of them are like just sort of, I don't know, like bleeding terribleness into all of the two for that's all they own is just the Bulls and the White Sox, right?
Yeah,
Do
they own the
any
Bulls
other?
and the White Sox.
Yeah. So it's just like, and at one, did they own the Bulls when the Bulls were like the best?
Yeah.
Okay, so imagine just going and like technically your championship is also from their ownership too. So you're just like, you won one 10 years ago or 20 years ago. That's crazy. 20 years ago.
20 years ago this year.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, cool. You won 2 decades ago. Yeah, that's enough for you. No, it's not enough.
I'm going to pull up the exact quote that Jerry has said about how people will still come. Second place quote. I think this is what it is.
The only thing that's getting people to come is to try your weird milkshakes.
Oh, here it is. Jerry Reinsdorf once said, finish in second place every single year because your fans will say, wow, we got a shot. We're in it. But there's always the carrot left. And that is how he runs his teams.
But you're not finishing in second.
No.
You're finishing with
Tony La Russa because of a regret you had 20 years ago.
That's just crazy. It's like, yeah, there was one time where Tony La Russa could, manage a baseball team, and then that was just when the times were very different. Yeah. And, you could deal with guys like that. But it's just like to have that mentality. It's like I talk about, hating the Yankees and Steinbrenner, but like that's like I feel like every owner needs to be George Steinbrenner. That's like, oh, I didn't win. That's failure.
Yeah.
Like, and I will do everything in my power to win.
And I mean, you see that too with the teams at spending because you see it with the Mets. You see it with Gary Cohen. He's like, no, screw it. I'm going to keep spending. Yeah. I'm going to go out and get Juan Soto and give him an astronomical amount of money. And it's paying off already.
Of course it is. Of course it is. He knows that people will be coming. The selling of the Soto shirts. Like, I'm going to be making this. And he's also worth, what, like $15 billion. Yeah. He's like the richest owner. So he doesn't care that he can give one player, $760, even though it makes no sense that somehow the person that doesn't pitch and hit makes more money than the person that can pitch and hit. But also the Dodgers have already seen they've got their other championship, and they've got the best team on paper. So yeah, these teams that invest this kind of money, you will get it back if you invest it wisely. Like if you invest in Juan Soto, you're going to get Juan Soto money back. If you invest in Andrew Benintendi, no, you're not going to get that bad. Is he cute? Yeah, that's about all he's got going for him nowadays. That's it.
But no, parade out a new milkshake again.
I tell you, some of those look good. I would try it. But the idea is like, okay, so cool. I could go there and I can get a milkshake and I can see a game for cheap. But that's like all you're like, that's what you're doing. And that's not enough. Or like you said, there's some cool giveaways because they're hoping that people are going to be like showing up. But I'm like, man, I don't want that like for any team. I just like, I would love, to me, it's like, oh, is it super fun that the Yankees might not be as good and the Red Sox can, maybe run the division? That'd be awesome. Yeah, really cool. I like it better when the Yankees are awesome. I like kicking the shit out of them in 2004. I like kicking the shit out of them in 2018. Like I like kicking the crap out of them in the wild card game in 21. Like I love beating the Yankees when the Yankees are at their best. That's what makes baseball great. That's why I want all these teams to be good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree.
Ugh,
it's just so, and the American League Central is so bad.
I know.
So bad. You
should be able to win that division.
80 games and win the division.
I'm so jealous.
Not be a thing.
I'm so jealous.
Woof.
Oh, I love if my team could just be 500 and somehow win a division. Right. But at the same time, I want everybody to be so good that you have to win 100 games to win your division.
Yeah. So back to the Red Sox specifically, we mentioned a lot of guys got paid. So how would you rate the offseason, even the very beginning of the season, since Crochet, it took a while to get that agreement?
Yes. So I know like there's a lot of people out there being like A+. I'm sorry, I can't give an A+ out to anybody really. It was like hovering about a B+ until we got that extension for Crochet, but now I think it's like it's probably an A because you needed to do that. You needed to get the Garrett Crochet extension. You needed to, and again, it's still though, even if you paid Alex Bregman, potentially you only paid him 1 year of $40 million. So you're still not committing, but showing that you committed to Crochet, showing that they commit to Campbell. Like I'm seeing the willingness to commit and the willingness to commit to a young core. Like the fact is 22 Campbell, I think 26 is what Crochet is going to turn relatively soon, but that's still so young. So it's like if you were afraid to give a ton of money to Max Fried because, you know, he's in his 30s, I get that. But like go and trade and then get me an extension, which they did. So I feel like it's an A season. You added Bregman. I talked about on Soxy Chicks about how I hate Aroldis Chapman and I don't like it. But potentially they unlock something and they might have a lockdown closer that they went out and got this offseason as well. Like they did things to make the bullpen better. The rotation looks really good. We're hoping that Lucas Giolito can actually be good, you know, because he was supposed to pitch last year and that didn't come to fruition. So we're like hoping things. They had already extended Brian Bayleigh. Ceddanne Rafaela, I still think he's going to be a super utility moving forward. And I think we're kind of seeing that already because Campbell's been getting starts in the outfield over Rafaela, which I think could be great, but they locked him up, which means it's going to allow us to bring up, you know, Roman Anthony, to bring up Marcelo Meyer. And if you bring these guys up, I want extensions for them too. I want an extension for Tristan Casas, but they seem to just not like Tristan Casas. And I hate it because I think he's going to be like a 40 home run, 400 on base guy. And like, there's a lot of fans being like, oh, we don't care. We're just waiting this year. So next year we can go and get Vladdy Jr. I don't care. These aren't guarantees, man. What's guaranteed right now is Tristan Casas is on your baseball team, and Tristan Casas is a really good baseball player. I'm sorry that he paints his nails. That makes you feel weird.
No offense, but do you really want Vladdy Jr.?
No, I don't. Casas, I'm sorry. I think Casas could be better. Like I think there's going to be a big season from Tristan Casas, but a lot of people just have issue with him too because he's very picky in the strike zone. I'm sorry, that's not. We have the ABS system. It's the best player in baseball right now.
Right? Yeah.
We just unfortunately don't have it because they're like, well, he should still swing at that. I'm like, yeah, but it's also not a strike. And he knows it's not a strike.
I'll take somebody picky that can actually still produce any day of the week.
Yeah. So I'm just, I understand Vlad Jr. is an insane talent, but like you have a really good first baseman right now. Like extend him. Like it's got to be kind of weird. I wonder how I know they've been like talking, but it's still going to be kind of weird for him to be standing over there at first base and to look out either to his right at second or out in the outfield and be like, okay, so you just paid this guy after a week in Major League Baseball. Like, why are you not paying me? Am I asking for too much? Potentially. Who knows? But like, he's also a first baseman. Were we just completely undervaluing the first baseman? So it's not like he's going to get like $300 million. Like Vladdy's looking for 500 and good luck, sir. Good luck. I don't think that's happening.
Vladdy, that's the thing. Vladdy has not been this great player that I think he's overhyped.
Yeah. Especially he had a really good last year, but it's just like it's been hot and cold has been kind of the thing. It's been like a little up and down where it's like when healthy, Tristan Casas is at his lowest, like a 125 WRC, a plus player. Yeah. It's like well above average. So I don't really know what more they want, but if you're trying to lock up your encore, you look to your first baseman, man.
Yeah. Don't look to Andrew Vaughn, White Sox. Just put it out there right now. He ruined decades of excellent first baseman for the White Sox.
I'm so sorry. That's just what's so frustrating is that even like you don't even really have like potentially with the trade with the White Sox, you have Teal and Montgomery, but like you don't really do you really have that young core that you could really rely on being great moving forward?
No.
Like that's so unfortunate. No. I know you potentially have another big lefty in Hagen Smith.
We do, and so Hagen Smith has been great. He played. I just saw it in here. Where was it?
Give it 5 years and he's on the Boston Red Sox. So
yeah, exactly. But he just had like a great night.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm excited about him. I'm excited about some of the guys down in Charlotte. But at the same
bring them up, man. I know that Ed, our good friend Ed Hand, will talk incessantly about why Chase Meidroth is not playing second base for your White Sox right now.
Yes, we've had a lot of back and forth. We were talking about Cam Boozer most recently. Also, Ed, if you're listening, congratulations. He's a new dad.
I know. It's so exciting for Ed.
Be on, I'm sure, eventually, because we play the Red Sox twice in April. So
yeah, let's go.
So are you feeling good heading into this season?
I am. I really am. I was feeling like so great. And then we couldn't figure out how to hit the broadside of a bond for a hot minute. But then it's like I'm seeing like it's just the idea of like Rafael Devers didn't just forget how to hit a baseball. If he went through this slump in like August, people really wouldn't be talking about it. It's just the K's were kind of out of control. And it was weird. It looked like he just couldn't catch up to a fastball, which has happened to him before. And he fixes it mechanically. It was like, okay, is Alex Bregman not going to hit? No, Alex Bregman's going to hit. Tristan Casas, they're going to hit. Like Trevor Story, that's something we could be like, okay, maybe. Who knows? But he's been looking a little better. So it's just like, I don't know. I mean, the idea of Trevor Story hitting fifth in my lineup, I'm not super crazy about. But it's like, I don't know. I think the lineup might start to if Christian Campbell keeps getting better, like you might see him getting more bumped up to the fifth and Trevor Story going to, if Trevor Story is hitting like seventh in your lineup, you got a hell of a lineup.
Yeah. You also have to, put in perspective, it's still really cold outside.
It is. It really is.
And you're going to see this in April.
Yeah, and it was raining. It's been like they have a doubleheader today because it like rained yesterday, so it's like it's still raw at Fenway. So it's like I always give like people time, and like with Rafi, he didn't really even truly have like a normal spring. Like, he was hitting in the backfields a lot because he had just had the shoulder surgery. He's now figuring out this whole DH role, which that was just completely overblown. I think he's more than fine with it. And I love that. Like, there's a part of me that's like, okay, I didn't want him to DH because like you were investing so much money in just to somebody who's DHing. But then I was saying these things at the time where Alex Bregman wasn't on my baseball team. And then you add the guy that won the Gold Glove last year at third. It's so tough to be like, sorry, guy, you're going to play second base, but we also have this stud that we really want to play at second. And like, it's just like talk to Rafi and say, dude, is this going to be good for your health? Like, you're not going to have to be going out there worrying about like your shoulder. So it's like, it's saving him. It's making him healthier. I love how extremely well Wilyer Abreu was looking. I don't want him traded. Again, Ceddanne Rafaela to the super utility role over anybody touching Wilyer Abreu. Your outfield can be literally Wilyer Abreu and right. Jarren Duran is a plus center fielder once he figured out his woes, in the outfield. He's been great. He can handle that. And then I think left field, Roman Anthony. And then your super utility is Ceddanne Rafaela. That's still a really good outfield defensively, I believe, and offensively, it's like the sky's the limit, and you're allowing your young guys to play. The real issue is I love Marcelo Meyer, and I just don't. It's going to be so much tougher for him to get in this lineup because of Trevor Story and because of the money that's invested into Trevor Story. And at the time, it's like, a lot of things could be said. It's like, oh, the issues right now that the Red Sox have with like blocking players are all Chaim Bloom problems. Chaim Bloom signed Trevor Story. Chaim Bloom signed Masataka Yoshida. Yeah, all right, that's fine and dandy. But at the time that you signed Trevor Story when he's available, Masataka Yoshida, you needed somebody who can hit the ball and not strike out. I love Masataka. He doesn't really have a place on this team, and I would love to see him just go somewhere else and be able to play baseball because I just don't see him really fitting in here. But, the problem that you have is because Marcelo Meyer is so talented, Christian Campbell is so talented, Roman Anthony is so talented. That's all Chaim Bloom. So the problems are all of that, but that's like any team deals with this when you have this type of talent. We have too much talent right now that you need to figure it out. And I love that. I can't tell you the last time we had like too much talent. I love it.
No, I'm so happy for you. It's that meme of like the mask, the happy mask in front of the angry face. Like, so happy.
Let's be nice, right? Yeah. Anyway, it's taken a while.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a very quick break and come back and talk about what to expect. All right. We are back. So we are recording obviously a little earlier than what I normally would go with. So we don't have a pitching matchup just yet. But talk to me about this rotation you've got.
Yeah. I'm wondering if Bayo or Giolito might be ready for this series coming up. So it would be great if they were potentially Bayo a little more over Giolito. So then it's like, Newcomb can come out of it. So you're adding the only one that I'm kind of like a little truly again, we haven't seen Bayo, we haven't seen Giolito yet. The only one that I've been kind of a little underwhelmed with has been Walker Buehler. Like he's looked fine. Like he's looked like somebody who post Tommy John isn't figuring it out the way that Chris Sale did. But it still took Chris Sale a while. Like Chris Sale struggled post Tommy John with the Red Sox and then figured it all out. And like we're hoping that this could have been that season where Walker Buehler figures it all out. And again, it's April. He could still be figuring this out. He's never not pitched in Southern California before. So these are adjustments for sure. But I mean, it's like on paper, it looks really good. Like you have Crochet, Tanner Houck's also looked a little. I had said of like anybody who's gonna like regress, who's your regression. I think Tanner Houck was always my regression. I think Tanner Houck proved that he can be a starter over like everybody being like bullpen, bullpen, bullpen. He proved that he can start, but he's also not a 2. And that's the problem is that like right now he's a 2 in our rotation. It's better than like last year when he had to be an ace. I think he's more like a 3, maybe a 4. So it's like I think guys will start to get bumped down as other guys come in. I know a lot of people aren't super big on Brian Bayo. I actually love Brian Bayo. I know he's not baby Pedro Martinez like a lot of people will say, but I think he's a 3. So I think he's a really solid 3. You have a legitimate ace in Crochet. So it's really kind of figuring out like who maybe like next year you can go out and you can get a Dylan Cease. So you have a 1-2, then you have a legit 3, and you have like a legit 4-5. And like I said, there's a lot of depth. Like Richard Fitz has pitched really well, but he's a piece that's going to go back down, AAA when, either Bayo or Giolito come back, and then he'll be down there with depth with like a Quinn Priester. So I like that if something like something happens, there are guys to bring up. Whereas like we didn't have that last year or the year before. Like Giolito goes down, you're just like fudge.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for the depth that we have, and I'm excited for the potential of what this rotation can be. And it's like all they have to do is kind of pitch at a decent baseline. They pitch like pretty well. This offense, knock on wood, should be able to score you like 5-6 runs a night. So if you're giving up like 4 and under, like that's really all I could really ask from this outside of like, when you have your ace on the mound where you're like, okay, I'm expecting big things. But no, I'm excited about this rotation. I think it can be really good.
Yeah. So as far as threats go, I feel like there are going to be a ton of threats on this Red Sox team for the White Sox. Who would you place kind of your top threat they're really going to just struggle against?
Ooh. From a pitching standpoint or just
anything really?
Anything?
I mean, it can be whatever.
I mean, I've just really loved what I've been seeing from Christian Campbell. Like he does not look phased by this. He struggled in spring training, but he also struggled to begin last season in the minors too, to then just kind of figure it out and go off. His swing is so explosive. Like when he hits a ball, you were like, wait, how is that gone? Like it kind of like it doesn't compute that like that swing can generate that much power. But that's what they figured out in the minors for him was his swing is a little unorthodox. And they were like, how can we tinker with this and make you generate power with excessive amount of bat speed? And it's just been working so well for him over all of last season in the minors. Like he wasn't just the Red Sox best minor leaguer. Like he was voted the best minor leaguer in the whole of Major League Baseball. And so I think Christian Campbell is somebody who could really go off, especially if like you said, the pitching on your side isn't as good. So it could maybe look a little bit more like, what he faced in the minors. So it's like maybe he can just have himself a hell of a series.
I mean, most of our players, most of our pitchers especially are from the minors. I mean, they're babies still.
But then again, it's crazy because baseball can be so insane that the Red Sox can go get swept. Like you don't know. That's what I love about baseball is that you just kind of never know.
Yeah. So what about any kind of fears? And I know we just mentioned the unknown, which could very well still be the answer, but what kind of fears do you have heading into this?
Oh, I guess it could be that if you guys throw a soft lefty at us, we just don't know how to hit a left-handed pitcher that can't hit I don't know if you're gonna have a lefty against us, but like it feels like not even like a power lefty. It's like a soft tossing lefty can just like fudge the Red Sox, and it's been like this even since when they were winning championships. Like in 2018, they were no hit by Sean Manaea. Like they just seem to the lefty mystifies them. So, and I know we're a really lefty heavy lineup anyways, and we'll probably try to stack the righties. Like we'll get Robbie Refsnyder in there during that game. But I would say it's a lefty. I'm always scared when they go against the lefty.
No, that's totally fair. So obviously the keys to winning this series for the Red Sox. What do you got?
Well, I'm hoping that since your offense isn't the most potent, that the pitching can do relatively well. So I would say it would be hitting with runners in scoring position, because so far this season that has been a theme that the Red Sox have been carrying over into almost every game. Like there are some games where it's like, okay, they were hitting like 2-run home runs after 2-run home runs after 2-run home runs. But like today they left the bases loaded with nobody out. That's inexcusable. So I would say RISP. The guys with RISP, I would say, is probably I would say that going into the series.
Yeah, that checks out. So that's what I've got, obviously, with this series. How are we feeling? And I know if you listen to Soxy Chicks, you already heard most of our opinions, but for those who don't listen, what are your thoughts on just this season in general? Your hot takes or your fun.
I'm loving what I'm seeing from the young guy, Christian Campbell, so far. I'm loving what I'm seeing from, as Lou Merloni calls him, the pig, Garrett Crochet, because he's just filthy. Like I've been loving that. Like, because even in Crochet's first start, like he didn't have his A+ stuff, and he still made it through, I believe, like 5 innings, not giving up much. And then you could see when he has his A+ stuff, he's doing like vintage Pedro Martinez. Like he's going 8, could have gone 9 if it was a little deeper in the season. I think it could have, he could have potentially have gone 9. So I'm excited about like all of that and seeing all of that come to fruition. I'm excited because I think we're going to finally get to see like the big 3 playing. I think we're going to see Anthony, Campbell, and Meyer together at some point. So I'm excited just to see what this future that Chaim Bloom started to construct, and now it looks like Craig Breslow will be locking up. So I'm loving that this core is going to be here, and I'm very excited to see that. And if that means that certain guys have to like go on the bench a little bit more, like you should be putting the best team out there. And I'm sorry if like Trevor Story's feelings get hurt. I'm sorry, Marcelo Meyer's probably better than you right now.
I'm sorry that a millionaire's feelings got hurt.
Yeah, that's must suck.
Brutal. Well, that's fun. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we will chat again. And obviously, best of luck in the series. I can't hate the Red Sox because I hate the Yankees. So I have to like be even keeled on that.
Yeah,
so.
and I have like no feelings of any hatred towards the White Sox. I just hope that you guys aren't as bad as you have been, because that's just like no fan base should have to feel that.
No.
Like, I'm sorry.
And I just want the best for Garrett Crochet. And I think a lot of Sox fans, White Sox fans, are in that same boat, as we just want the best for him. He provided some great times for the White Sox throughout a very dark period in our fandom. But I think I echo the sentiment of everybody wants the best for Garrett. So
yes, and we want the best for him. We'll take good care of him and take care of Kyle Teal, because we might really be needing a catcher, and we don't have one now. So enjoy him.
Yeah, will do. All right. Well, thank you so much. Obviously, follow Bayleigh. We'll share where you can find her. But yeah, it's been real. See ya.
Bye.